बंधुर आत्ममानस तस्य येनत मेव आत्मन जितः अनथ मानस तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेत्मवेव शत्रुवतः. This shloka from none other than the Bhagavad Gita discipline a person by instilling thoughts of taking control over one's mind themselves. It tells us that we dissipate a large portion of our thought power and energy in combating people whom we perceive as enemies. The Vedic scripture say that the biggest enemies, lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, etc., reside right here in this temple. These internal enemies are even more pernicious than the outer ones. The external demons may injure us for some time, but the demons sitting right here in this temple, in our own mind, have the ability to make us live in constant wretchedness. The Vedic philosophy lays great emphasis that an illness is not only caused by viruses and bacteria, but also by the negativities we harbor in the mind. If someone accidentally insulted you yesterday, you might feel bad at the moment, but by the next day, you'll probably forget about it. However, if someone does the same thing to a person who harbors hatred and envy, the fire of anger keeps raging for days. This is why it is said in the scriptures, I have been insulted, I have been cheated, I have been harmed. Such thoughts of bitterness do not cease in those who harbor such thoughts. When we are hurt deeply in our mind, our negative thoughts do more damage to us than the object of our hatred. It has been rightly said, resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping that the other person dies. The person who we intended to get with, even with, may remain unaffected, but when uncontrolled mind seethes, so much harm is done to us. Think about that line once again. When uncontrolled mind seethes, so much harm is done to none other than us. Friends, today on World Mental Health Day, our challenge is to raise awareness of mental health issues around the world and to mobilize efforts in the support of mental health. Fellows, you might sometimes look at your uncontrolled mind as your enemy. However, the reality is that the same mind has the potential to be your best friend, but only if it is under control of our intellect. Through spiritual practice, the more powerful an entity is, the greater its danger for misuse, and so also the greater its scope for utilization. Since the mind is such a powerful machine, fitted right here in this temple in our body, it can work as a two-edged sword. Former President of America, he expressed this very nicely. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. Beautiful, isn't it? Friends, today on Mental Health Day, let's remember the significance of controlling and nurturing our minds. Mental health is just not about addressing problems, it's about building resilience, practicing mindfulness, and making sure that we are not enslaved by our own thoughts. Mental health. For too long, it has been, you can say, a taboo. It has been a taboo subject, something that people are afraid to discuss. But conversation like the ones that we have today can break the stigma and encourage people to seek help when they need it. If we begin with small actions and build on each other, we can pave the way for a future where mental well-being is not just addressed but prioritized. So, to end this talk, or we can say to conclude, I would only like to say that as teens, we face unique challenges when it comes to mental health. From academic pressure to social expectations, our minds are constantly battling external and internal stressors. But how we respond to these challenges, how we control our mind is our greatest weapon. Mental health, it is not an individual journey, but it is a collective responsibility. And For this, we can create a world where mental health is prioritized and everyone feels empowered to seek help when needed. So, my friends, thank you so much for your time, and once again, a very, very happy World Mental Health Day.